Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode number 93. This time I'm reviewing the 881st episode of the anime, The Next Move, the Obsessive Fleet Admiral Sakazuki, I think it's the guy's name, and the 940 chapter manga, The Spark Rebellion. This episode, believe it or not, is adapted only from 3 pages of the first 3 pages. They're there for chapter 905. Pages 2 through 4. Yeah, they're really taking their time with this arc. And it's only roughly, off the top of my head, I think it's only about 2 or 3 chapters in. And they haven't really gotten enough this arc. I mean, they barely have scratched the surface. Yeah, so far this arc is roughly 4 episodes in, and they've only adapted only the first 2 chapters out of a 6 chapter arc. What happens in the manga stuff? Well, Sakazuki finds out that he was the admiral from the Dressrosa arc. He makes his return, and he shows Mary Jo's. And even though that the fleet admiral says that you can't go to any base, and he asks why you go to Mary Jo, and his excuse is it's not a Navy base. And he told the guy who told him, like, go tell the admiral to get him out of there, because he's that much of a buffoon. Yeah. As for the previous fleet admiral, you see him briefly pop in. Of course, he's an inspector general, not a guy who has virtually no power at all. Yeah, and that's something I tend to question though. How in the world a guy who's supposed to be in his 70s, where he basically aged 2 years, where he's now 80, and he's got white hair now, and he still looks in great shape for a man his age. I mean, appearance-wise, the man does not look like he's in his he looks like 80. No, he looks like a man in his 40s. Yeah, that's the odd thing about this particular arc. Also, there's an admiral who appears in this particular episode who did not appear in the actual arc itself. Kazu, the admiral, I think he does like energy beams out of his hands. Yep. Now, and of course you see him, the previous fleet admiral, just having his goat eat Luffy's wanted poster. Yeah, not much when it comes to present day stuff, because here's the thing about this episode. 95% of this episode is basically stock footage. Where is it from? The Impel Down and the Marineford arcs. In the case of Impel Down, all they show from that particular arc is like Luffy got into the prison. Thanks to Bill Hancock. Thank you for actually including that particular stock footage. His battle with Magellan. His basically like a montage of him meeting up with Buggy, Mr. 3, and Bon Clay, which in the side version is Bon Chun. Not really what you refer to as in the dub, because when I watched the Impel Down arc in the anime, I watched the dub portion of it. I did not watch the sub. Same thing with Marineford. For Whitebeard, I think this is the second time I've heard his sub actor since I've been watching the series. Yeah, and it's basically a loose montage of a little bit happened in Marineford. Like, the thing starts off with the death of Ace from toward the end of Marineford, and it goes straight back to Impel Down. Do some highlights of it, and of course they show like a little bit of Marineford. I'd say basically the beginning of the battle. And of course, Louis fall from the sky, and that's what they show in this episode. I think they're gonna show the rest of the montage of it for next week's episode. But yeah, like I said, mostly highlighted stock footage. That's pretty much the majority of this episode is stock footage, which kind of makes sense due to the fact this is the 20th anniversary of the anime. So why not do a montage? I mean, first you did one of the flashback from the first season, which makes Luffy's childhood up until he left. The second one was basically romance and down. Like, I probably thought though that with the next arc, with this episode, they might do something like maybe Erline Park, but no. Maybe because the stock footage to a particular character, like the case was is Sendeku, obviously. So that's probably why they showed Impel Down and Marineford. Now on to this new chapter in the manga, chapter number 940, Spark of Rebellion. Alright, chapter, basically the cover story is Barto and having sort of a model of the Straw Hat Crew in stick figures. Yeah, that's the opening page of this chapter. That's the cover story. And then you have sort of a loose flashback of Trafalgar Law telling Usopp what to do. Yeah, like don't forget your depths. Ah, crap, does this thing. There we go. Him talking to Nami for a little while. Yeah, lots talking. Everyone's like mad at something. We see a little brief meeting. Now I'm wondering, okay, do these people not know where the heck Zoro is? Or, also, where is Sanji? Yeah, actually I do see Sanji in this chapter, but there's still one character who's been disappeared for a little while now. Like, I've been asking, where the heck is Brook? Yeah, where the heck is he? I mean, he's clearly in this island, and yet he's not here. No, there's no explanation for it all. Also, Sanji doesn't say anything this whole chapter. It's mostly this other guy who's a friend of Kamaru, basically. He was there. And of course, everybody's there, including Robin. Most of the talking. Yeah. And then we come back to the prison where Luffy's at. And then, like, he's pretty much still beating up guys. And then, like, who's next? And of course, teaching him it's like talking about the Pirate King, talking about Gold Roger, and then Rat Razor and the other guy from Fishman Island shows up. This guy who has the ability to absorb stuff in his body. Yeah, the old man knows who he is. He says, "Yeah, trying to emulate this fact. This guy is also basically a slave trader." Yeah. He says please don't hate me. I promise I can help. I'm your subordinate now. In exchange, take me on your ship. Sorry, in the past. I've had a change of heart. Like, looks at him like, okay, fine. You go. Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know if he's a member of his crew. He's like, what? Thank you. Razor is like, okay. And of course, the old man's crying. Well, at least he's happy to see Razor again. He's going to see old friends of his. And apparently this old man is actually the head of the Yakuza of this island. Yeah, he's in this island's Yakuza, which I'm like, that's interesting. I like that. Because in real life, the Yakuza, basically, a lot of them are pretty much terrible people, from what I've heard. I have never met one, but I've heard they're really bad people because they're all basically criminals. Yep. And he says he knows all the bosses. And Luffy's plan is this. He wants to, do this rebellion against the Shogun. And he do it. He wants to basically destroy this prison and free all the prisoners. Okay. Perfectly fine. Yeah. So, and then chapter ends quite usually with a character in the Wastelands. Oh yeah, it's actually Big Mom, who's been absent the past several chapters. Here briefly in this cameo. And we see Chopper. And that's it. So we got a little progression forward for this arc. Right now, the manga itself is currently 36 chapters ahead of the anime, where it's at right now, which is fine. I get kind of the reason why they're not, like, speeding up like they would be doing right now, because they don't want to catch the manga too quickly, so they probably think, okay, we don't want to make a bunch of filler up, let's just throw in a bunch of stock footage for this particular arc, just to drag it out as long as we can. That's probably my guess what they're doing with Revere. Yeah. This arc is this chapter is still pretty good, especially since Luffy gets a chance to basically start up his own start up a bigger group. Maybe this group become part of his big fleet. It's a possibility. I keep thinking though, at some point, that one of the members of the Straw Hat crew, who probably gonna be Usopp at this point, because Zoro probably doesn't know how to do it. Usopp probably got the transport snail numbers of all of the division commanders, and he's probably gonna call them up. Though it's probably gonna take a while to get here, to get to Wano. As for Wano having Yakuza, I'm not surprised because the Yakuza are basically associated with Japan, so why the heck not? Simple as that. I'm gonna give this chapter roughly a 9 out of 10. It does progress the arc a little bit, not by much. I mean, the biggest thing I can think of is the return of that character from Fishman Island. Yeah, I was surprised to see him because this guy had not appeared in the manga in such a long time. I mean, like I said, not since Fishman Island. That was the last time this guy showed up. I mean, he hasn't showed up since then. I mean, he's just been wandering, and somehow he got the wand off for some reason. It's never explained. Raizo, always great to see this guy because, well, in the sub, I should point out that he's voiced by the same guy who does the sub voice for my guy from Naruto. Yep. Though I'm hoping though that Viz Media I'm hoping the Funimation who does the dub for One Piece, I hope they contact Viz Media and ask him, hey, can we borrow the guy who voices my guy in the dub to voice this guy? Because I would love to hear the dub actor's voice cover this guy's mouth. I would love it. I really would. Because so far this guy's only made one appearance in the anime, and that was basically like in the last episode of the Zoo Island arc. Yeah, so that's it for this particular review. My next review I'm going to do it next. Review the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. Okay? To me. But to you see you next review. Bye.